Hello, my name is Mars, and welcome back to Slay the Princess. I triple checked, made sure that the video is actually recording this time, so hopefully we won't have a repeat of what happened last episode. Um, so now, I just need to decide what I'm gonna do for the 5th princess to end this run. And I think I'm gonna go for this one. I think this is a new branch that branches off of the damsel. Because here's the damsel. Um, here, I don't know if this is attached to the prisoner or the damsel both, the ghost, but this one is definitely branching off the damsel because the damsel is last. And let me, again, try to interpret what this flavor text is hinting at me to do. You don't need the world for your happy ending. So what this makes me think of is there was a branch I didn't take when I first met the damsel, which is escaping with her. When I first met the damsel, I tried to escape with her, but I asked too many questions and she turned into an anime girl or something, and I got the deconstructed princess instead, the deconstructed damsel. But if you don't overload her with questions, if you just escape, I feel like this might be what that leads to, because we saw when we did the Spectre that when we escape with the princess, it doesn't matter how we escape. If we escape after killing the princess or if we escape with her, the world outside the cabin ceases to exist no matter what. So this kind of implies to me that you don't need the world for your happy ending. We're gonna try to escape with the damsel. The world isn't going to be there. And then we're just going to wait there with her. Try to get our reward with her there. That's my prediction. That's what I'm going to try to do. So, alright. Let us load this game.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
We can skip this actually. Can someone else do this? Have I asked that already? Forget it. I'm not doing this.
Are you serious? No, you have to do it.
That's the attitude you go into the damsel with, is definitely not going to do it. Okay, fine. I'll go to the cabin.
Good. As long as you remain focused on your goal, it should all be smooth sailing.
That was a slightly different but new option that I guess I got by saying, no, I'm not doing it.
You make your way.
Alright, skip that.
The interior.
And skip this. We're gonna go into the basement without the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing.
Alright, we're going to be all gallant. We're a gallant knight here to save the princess. I'm here to save you.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist,
Don't do it.
binding her to the far wall of the basement.
If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end. Let's just examine the chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're not even gonna talk to her and make her suspicious of us.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forget to actually check the wall and see if the extra chain that the prisoner mentions is up there, because the voices said it was there before, but I was like, really? Really? And I just didn't check just now. Darn it.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
And if there isn't a key, how about if we check upstairs but then don't lock her? Hold on, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna save for the purpose of not getting the nightmare. I'm going to check upstairs. Maybe the key's still lying around somewhere up there, and if not, maybe I can at least find something to break you free.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
I just want to see if there's any slightly different dialogue.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
It's just the door closing on me.
Is someone else here?
Try the door?
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
Hey, let me out of here.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
All right.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
There it is. I never really registered this, even though it's obviously been here every single time. Because I was just like, oh, she has 2 arms. That's a chain for her other arm. They just never put it on her. I never really registered that it was there at all. Maybe the cabin was made with the intention of being a dungeon for multiple people. I don't know. I mean, it's a manifestation in a pocket dimension or whatever this game is. So obviously there was no intention of that being the case, but I'm just spitballing here.
Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
Music stopped. She's gonna do a scary.
She
Yep.
barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
I love how even if you try to go down the nicest route in this game, it still is like, she's gonna chew her own damn arm off. It's still like, you're not getting away from the horror.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Save the princess. Oh, that's our only option.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
You know she ate a arm.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't.
'Cause she's a monster.
She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
She's still fresh. You gotta give her that. She is the most fresh.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the
No!
princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Oh, we can't even click on slay the princess. Oh, that's right, because that would lead to the witch, and we've already done the witch. I see. So our only option is to warn her.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
Resist.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
I forgot how cute she was in this route.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
She can't even kill us right in this one. She's so pure.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
She's innocent. This one is innocent. She's never been hurt by anyone. All she knows is someone coming down here to save her.
Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Damsel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Oh, you bastard. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Yeah, Smitten is funny. I've heard a lot of people saying they don't like him anymore after what happens in the new route, but I don't know. We'll just see. I'll make my own judgment when it comes to that. At this point, I still think he's funny, and I'm sure I'll still find him amusing even if he does something heinous.
Our beloved?
My favorite is still the broken, remember.
Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
All this, why should I bother doing anything?
Those are two very, let's say for a moment, you died last time. You were the one who did us in, villain.
He talks like he's a character in a melodrama. It's fun.
Well, not you in the literal sense, but you did everything you could to stop us from rescuing her. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe it's because the entire world was at stake. No lone princess is worth that price.
I beg to differ.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to take a deep breath and assume that whoever is making the decisions here has the common sense to ignore your protestations. Anyway, I believe your second... What do you mean? Of course there weren't any... Yes, but in this purely... If it's the latter, do you think the people there...
She would never. She's a perfect angel that you cruelly imprisoned as part of some convoluted, dastardly scheme.
Convoluted? I don't know how this premise could be any more simple. Princess bad, stop her, save everyone.
Princess bad. I'm with them. I'm gonna find a way to save her from that cabin.
That's right, you can't stop all of us.
We're going to sweep her off her feet if it's the last thing anyone does.
Are these really the sorts of people you'd like to align yourself with? You're not at the cabin yet. You still have plenty of time to reflect on the situation. I just hope for all our sakes that you make the right call.
Let's talk about her.
Just be quick about it.
The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her. She could barely hold a knife. How is she supposed to end the world?
She just can.
Maybe it's her beauty that threatens the world.
Sure, it's her beauty. Why not? And before you ask, no, we can't just keep her down there. If you don't slay her, she's going to find a way out. It's unfortunate, I know, but it's just the way it is.
That's all.
Right. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
Proceed.
A warning. She will lie.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Proceed.
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
This whole cabin is different from last time.
Very different.
Is it? I can't say I was paying much attention to the scenery last time around.
Maybe that's because you haven't actually been here. I hope this means you'll finally drop that ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Stop letting yourself get distracted.
Mirror on the wall?
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
I'm sure the princess would tell us there was a mirror if she were up here.
In which case she'd be lying to you because, again, there isn't a mirror.
I want to look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. That's something the smitten would say, right?
That's a great idea. We have to make sure we're looking our best before we save her.
We shouldn't waste time preening. If he is lying about the mirror, it might be important.
Literally preening because they have feathers. He has feathers. Whatever. Pronouns are tricky for this character because there's a lot of him.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
Approach?
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
That's like a tapestry. I was like, the mirror is still there. What are you talking about?
But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
Let's enter the basement. We don't need the blade.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight.
I was almost just about to take this line to task, the gold-trimmed carpet, because Tony Howard, Arias, I think his last name is, he has been very adamant on Tumblr that there is no color in this game. The world is black and white. It's just like in Stars in Time, the world is in black and white. But this is the second time in this very route that they've mentioned color. They've mentioned the gold trimmed carpet, and they've mentioned the pink streaming down the princess's face as she cried. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could literally just mean trimmed with gold, the element, which is still gold, even if it's not gold colored. And blood is red, and pink is just a shade of red, so it makes sense that we could see different shades of red in this world. But still, in my headcanon, I think we're supposed to think the princess is blonde, but she is a ginger in my heart.
But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice, it's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
I love that dress. Like, ignore the princess herself. The dress is lovely.
And she called us a hero.
Hero likes that.
Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
I didn't bring a knife. Do I have to cut you out again?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
What happened after I died?
You died, and now we're talking.
Cute. I'm sorry. I know that I'm supposed to think that this is all saccharine and stupid and the patriarchal nature of fairy tales. I like princesses. I like pretty princesses. I can't help it. I like the scary stuff, but I can't help that I have a weakness for pretty princesses too. I'm a simple girl. But before we started talking, did the world end? Did you end the world?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
No, I don't want the world to end.
Then I didn't end the world.
I think I said that the first time I saw the damsel. It's funny.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself. I'm not so sure.
I'm sorry about what happened last time. The narrator who sent me here to kill you took over my body. It was extremely unfair.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
You make me feel so confident, Princess. Miss Damsel.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do?
We already know that she doesn't. We asked her, capital H, her, last time we saw her.
She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
Rescue her.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
Okay, so he is threatening to kill ourselves.
I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her?
You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you. There's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and
Aww.
smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
I know it's gonna get dark, but
If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved.
Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
okay, I'm not gonna ask this because she's gonna deconstruct. We leave, and then we have our whole lives to figure out what we want to do next.
That sounds perfect.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending.
That's the thing. That's the thing that was said in the gallery. So I think we did it.
I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. You and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this.
Abby went off in drawing the damsel. I love it.
And what happens after we walk up the stairs? Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love.
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her.
Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known.
Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
I think we can open it if we try together, or I think I've got this. Open the door by yourself. Let's try together!
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door. Together. And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
I told you our love was insurmountable.
You and the princess make your way upstairs and the blade. That's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
You're not doing that.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you. You know, if her walking out that door is really going to end the world, can't we all just stay here? Seems like an easy win for everyone. That's not how this works. Yes, what he said. That's not how this works. Obviously, we have to leave with her. It's our happy ending.
Alright, I'm gonna save here. I feel like the correct answer here is all we need to be happy is each other. What if we just stayed here and built a life together? Because who needs the world, right?
What a romantic suggestion. You're right. We don't need the world. All we need is each other.
She doesn't seem to like that, though.
That's exactly what I just suggested. Was it not romantic when I suggested it? Did you suggest that? I wasn't listening. You answered me.
But the door's right there. We can just leave.
Wait. Why would she say that? Was she not wooed by our proclamation of love? We not enough for her? She's not wooed by you because staying here and building a life together isn't a solution. It isn't anything. It's a non-answer. It can't be done.
Trust me, it'll be better for both of us if we stay. We can be happy here. We just have to want it. I don't want to tell her that we're worried.
But we would have to be here forever. I don't know you. This is really what you want, though, isn't it?
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the room.
I guess we could do that.
Okay, the music's fading. I feel like that's a good sign. Oh, never mind.
She doesn't seem happy about this. But she can't be unhappy about staying with us. Can she? I don't know. She has a point. She doesn't know us. No. It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just made these walls more fitting for a princess. If we just say the right things. If we just showed her the contents of our heart. She'd be happy here.
That sounds like something that the smitten is about to take literally.
As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise, fingers pointing towards your chest, and then... What? No, you absolutely do not do that. Oh, but I do. What? What is he doing? We can't see unless you tell us. Are you sure you want to know? I suppose I can't stall forever.
Oh, God.
You plunge your nails into your chest, digging deep, grasping for a handhold. And you find it, your fingers curling around your ribs.
I'm glad we're not seeing this in detail right now.
Oh no, what are you doing? Are you okay? You can't do that and be okay.
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done, isn't it?
Oh. I like Jonathan's work with this voice. He just made him sound so menacing. But he's still the same Smitten that he was before. I like it. Good job.
It will
Ugh.
be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull yourself apart inch by painful inch. Your exposed
Yikes.
heart,
Ugh.
framed by jagged ribs, thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. The loosened threads of your body unfurling to cover the surface of the room.
Yike. I don't like the heartbeat soundtrack.
Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair price to pay to give her everything she doesn't know she wants.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something.
Ugh. I don't like playing these games with headphones because then I hear it right in the headphones. Ooh.
It's beautiful.
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your beating heart, and then everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
Epilogue. Happily ever after. Alright, this is what I was going for.
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, we're clearly already in the cabin.
It's all princesses holding our heart in her hands. Are we getting married?
Excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew about the loop-in last time. Now, he's clearly disorientated. I'm sure all this new info is going to come as quite a shock to him. Best if we're gentle.
Why is the opportunist here? Is the opportunist here to suggest we're taking advantage of the princess somehow? Because that's his thing. It's like looking for openings and and manipulating and taking advantage of the princess when she lets her guard down. That's his thing, right? Is that the suggestion here?
Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! Thank you. I'm just happy to be here. Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. But I'm sure since you're so well-travelled, you know that, yes? Well, we know that now, thanks to you. We're all so lucky to be stuck with, working with someone so well-informed. You can count on us to do things right from here on out. I'm going to describe the room now. The interior of the cabin is vast and regal. High arched windows line the walls, their multicoloured glass casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the stone floor. An iron chandelier hangs from the vaulted ceiling, its many candles lit with flickering light, vaguely illuminating the massive room. This is a house fit for royalty.
Tony, you can't hide behind this one. It literally has the word colored in it. There are supposed to be colors here. We're just not getting to see it for whatever reason. Because it's the stylistic choice of the game. But, I mean, that solidifies it in my head. Princess is a ginger. She has red hair and we're just not seeing it because of the way the game is drawn.
Before you, there isn't a blade, is there? That's not good.
Uh-oh. Oh. Hey, where's the voice of the smitten? I feel like if we say that, he's gonna, like, jump up like, here I am! So I'm not gonna say that right away. Doesn't matter if the blade's here. We didn't use it last time, and the time before that she used it to kill us.
Now that is some fine reasoning. Who cares about the blade? I think you're right. We're better off without it. It's not like it's ever been important. Of course the blade's important. It's your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do this right. The fact that you're here, right now, again means that you have not yet done this right. But it's not there, is it? We don't even get the choice. So, what are we supposed to do? I don't actually know. I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. It has to. It's part of the whole structure of this place, I think. At the very least, it's important.
Alright, where's the voice of the smitten? He was here last time, and it's not like him to be this quiet.
Yeah, he was a bit of a loud one, wasn't he? Is he okay? We're better off without him, if you ask me. One less opinion we have to contend with. Plus, he's the one who got us into this whole mess.
I love that you can hear him stretching. Why are you stretching, man? You're just a voice.
Is that so? Maybe there is hope for you after all, free from the bad influence of your missing friend.
None of you are going to talk about the mirror?
What is there to say about it? It's a mirror. Is this some sort of a bit? There is no mirror. There's only the stained glass windows, the empty table where your blade should be, and the door to the basement. Oh, my bad. That's why I haven't been talking about it. I see it, just like I saw it last time. Good for you, buddy. You've got a sharp set of eyes on you. Mirror or no mirror, the door to the basement, your only way forward, is just on the other side of the room. How about you walk over there?
Sure.
You cross the room, stopping just in front of the door to the basement. What is this about that supposed mirror? Just reach forward and fumble around a bit. I'm sure you'll find the handle. Well, shall we have a look at ourselves? Maybe it won't go away this time.
Reach forward. Is there going to be something behind it? Something spooky?
You reach
No, it's
forward,
just a door.
your hand instinctively wrapping around the handle.
A very beautiful door.
Figures. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpet too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, that doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even. I have to say, whatever you did in your previous lives, I deeply dislike how much it's thrown me off my rhythm.
Nice place. I hate it.
Don't worry about it, boss. You're doing great. I'm not, but I appreciate the encouragement. Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then maybe we don't have to slay the princess. No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice house doesn't mean she doesn't pose a direct threat to all of reality. It's in her very nature. Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
You're home. Dinner's ready.
Oh, wifey.
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time, we are not going to examine it.
God.
The more we think, the worse this gets. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice.
None of us have ever eaten in this game. Why should we start now? Except for the beast, I suppose.
Gotta say, I'm with him on this one, boss. When have nice things ever been a problem?
It's gonna be a problem somehow, I'm sure of it.
That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. Just go upstairs, okay?
Proceed.
This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light, just enough to illuminate the tapestries along every wall, woven with scenes of chivalry and courtship and romance. The many cloth eyes are fixed on each other, gazes averted from the long table in the centre of the room. The princess, seated at its far end. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from a golden chain around the princess's neck. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross the room, push down a little, and the entire world is saved. That's easy. Yeah, that is easy, isn't it? So, where's the rush?
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
Oh man, is dinner gonna be our heart from last time? That'd be nuts.
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you. You're forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is better, right?
What is this place?
It's our happy ending, just like you asked for. It's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted.
What are we supposed to do now?
Oh, right, dinner. I totally forgotten about it.
Flames
Whoa.
burn bright and a shadow dives across the table.
What is that?
In its wake, it leaves a feast.
What is that? I thought it was the shadow of her chair. It's obviously something else. What the hell? What the hell?
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
Am I ever? Look at this spread. It's a feast fit for a king. Yeah, and after everything we've been through, we could use a break. More than that, we deserve a break.
Eat? I'm kind of scared, what the food is gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be something gross, but eat?
You begin to feast, and the princess follows suit, her soft smile never fading. The food is more exquisite than you ever could have imagined. You sample countless otherworldly dishes, sauces and bread and hearty stews whose tastes dance across your tongue. You tear at hunks of meat practically melting from the bone, juicy and tender and bursting with flavors you could scarcely begin to describe. Your cup fills itself again and again with a flowery nectar so sweet it tastes like glimmering jewels.
Making me hungry, damn it.
This really is perfect, isn't it? It is the best meal you've ever had. But then it's over, and you're just as hungry as when you began.
Wasn't that perfect? We should do it again.
The shadow washes across the table, clearing and replating. The feast is once again laid before you. The food is good. Again, you tear into golden crispy flesh, dab at the slurry of aromatic sauces on your plate with thick-crusted bread, sip your goblet of sparkling gems. But you have done this already. A good meal is still a good meal, and we didn't even have to clear the dishes. I'm happy. And then it's over, and you're just as hungry as when you began.
Jeez.
You're still hungry too, right? I know this wasn't as good as it was last time, but we just have to do it again. That's all. It'll be perfect if we just do it again.
It's gonna get gross.
So the shadow sweeps over the table, clearing the old and laying out the new. And so you do it again.
Or maybe it's just gonna be a Twilight Zone thing where everything's so perfect. You think it's heaven because everything's so perfect, but no, it's actually hell. Because it's boring, you know?
The meat is fine, the bread is fine. You sample the side dishes and they're fine too. You finish your goblet, the liquid within no longer glimmering on your palate, instead leaving your mouth coated in a tacky film. You put it down and it fills again. You do not drink more. Well, food is food, isn't it? Can't always be amazing. What matters is that we don't have to make it. Getting other people to do the hard work always improves the taste. Does it? Because it seems like the taste is getting worse, and we haven't had to so much as lift a finger. Regardless of quality, it's over again, and you're just as hungry as when you began. Again.
When can we interject?
No, something was wrong that time. But maybe I was just tasting it wrong. It looks just as good as it did the first time. It shouldn't taste like this.
Is she looking over her shoulder at the shadow?
Again, the shadow replaces your feast. And again you eat. The meat is greasy. The bread is tough, its crust hurting your jaw as you chew. The grey vegetables are barely worth the effort of picking through. You don't even touch the goblet, its sickly sweet aroma utterly unappealing. I'm so tired of eating. Well, it's still free food we didn't have to make, right? Oh, am I kidding? We were eating like kings and now we're eating like pigs. At least you still have the memory of how good it was the first time, right?
No, eventually you'll forget. It'll all be replaced by the gross stuff.
I'm so tired of this.
As the words leave her mouth, one of the torches on the wall sputters and then goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
Not a fan of whatever just happened. I don't want to sit in the dark. Losers sit in the dark. I want to sit in a brightly lit, spacious room where we can see our beautiful, queenly wife. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other 3 torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
I don't think you did anything wrong. I think you just said something you wanted to say.
But it was wrong. I took away a piece of our light. I'm not supposed to do that. I don't want him to be upset with me.
Him? I mean, I feel like I know where this is going. Exactly where this is going. I don't know how. I don't know how a voice escaped us and became his own entity. That's never happened before. But that's obviously what's happening, right? That shadow is a smitten, right? You said he. Who is he?
He's the voice that whispers sweet nothings in my ear. I think he made this place for us.
Is she talking about a real voice? Like us, but we're at the head of the table. We should be in charge. Is he more powerful than we are?
What are we supposed to do now that we ate?
I don't know. Maybe we could play a game. Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind an intricate game, its pieces elegant and beautiful and enticing, its simple rules already apparent, even with little explanation.
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
Great, we don't even have a rule book. That means we can make up as many rules as we want. And we will. Don't worry, I am excellent at cheating. She'll never suspect a thing.
Oh, God.
I don't think it really matters. This all kind of feels like we're just filling time, you know? What, you don't want to win? To show our prowess in all avenues and accumulate respect? Wow, you would be hopeless without me. Count your lucky stars I'm here. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of miscalculations and careless plays. The warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Look at those cones. Are we playing Cones of Dunshire?
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start over. She only made us start over because we were winning. Time passes. You play the game. You win. Boom. And there you have it. What did I tell you?
Hey.
Am I great at games or am I great at games?
I got an achievement for that. Win the game with the help of a manipulative voice.
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
Time passes. You play the game. She wins.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
There is a long pause, and the board does not reset.
This isn't fun anymore, is it?
You don't need me to tell you that it isn't. Oh. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it'd be fun again.
Yeah. The game's just a little simple. We can make it fun again. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, their purposes less immediately clear. and the two of you set about discovering the complexities of the game anew. And so you do, and it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played, and the sputtering torch roars back to life. But then you get used to the additions, and the feeling starts to fade. A creeping numbness settling in over the board. More pieces are added. The feelings flare. The feelings fade. The princess suggests new rules. A glimmer of what could have been excitement flits through your mind, quickly vanishing as the game progresses. Your pieces advance in an ever-increasing slog to their destination. Winning and losing become nothing but ends. And even the end becomes nothing as you roll over into a new game, the board resetting as many times as you can finish. Till finally...
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore.
As the words leave the princess's mouth, another torch goes out. Again, the remaining flames burn brighter, and the shadow dances faster.
I'm happy. I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
I feel really bad for her. I'm sorry a part of me became this, I guess.
This is awful. Isn't it great that we're all having such a lovely time together? We just have to stay positive and realize how happy we are. Then all of those lights will stay on and keep showing us all the cool stuff we have. Yeah, sure.
Are you actually happy here?
The princess starts to hyperventilate, her quick breaths punctuating the uncomfortable silence between you.
Yes. Why wouldn't I be? Let's not talk about it.
She's being defensive. And we all know being defensive is a sign of weakness.
We need the truth. You need to tell me how you really feel. I kind of want to see what else the shadow has for us to do, because there are 2 more torches, but I don't know. I don't want to see her upset anymore. We need the truth. You need to tell me how you really feel.
I don't feel anything.
The third torch sputters out. The princess's shadow dances furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out?
Don't worry about what's going to happen. If you could do anything in the world, what would it be? What would you choose? We need to see what happens when the lights go out. I mean, I want to ask her what she wants, but she's just been so conditioned to just be the person we want her to be. And do what we want her to do. I don't really feel like in the first chapter I was pressuring her to be the person I wanted her to be. Even though I did think she was adorable, I think that she was reacting naturally to, you know, being locked up and someone coming to rescue you, and then that someone being taken over by some extraneous force. But yeah, in the second chapter, we definitely pressured her to stay instead of leaving. And that was clearly something she didn't want, but I wanted to see what happened so bad that I kept telling her, and eventually she was like, oh, okay, if that's what you want. So I want to ask her this, but I feel like she's not going to answer me. I think we just need to see what happens when the lights go out. Whatever the shadows have been showing us isn't real. We need to see what happens when the lights go out.
We do, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
The princess sobs, burying her face in her hands as the final torch blows out.
Poor princess. Slay the princess? No, I'm not going to slay her. You can open your eyes. I'm still here, you know?
She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
So you are. It's dark in here, isn't it?
The princess's eyes dart to the floor.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me?
I don't know if I ever have, but maybe I can now. Whatever we have between us wasn't real. This is real. I mean, I've seen another side of her, a side that's in pain and scared and unhappy, and not just pretending. Do I want to say that this right here is real, or that maybe it can be real? I don't know if I ever have, but maybe I can now.
That's a nice thought. I think this place was bad for us. It was keeping us small. I think it's time for us to go.
Offer her your hand.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold, a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt. You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world? He's right, you know. You're giving us some real mixed signals, boss. Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world. Well, this is less work for us anyways.
Like, what did he mean by that? I've seen my fairy tale ending. Is he talking about his own life? Like outside of this world he created? Or maybe he's just saying, you know, this is nice, you guys can have it, whatever.
Think what you will. I'm done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Genuinely, I do. He's really gone, isn't he? No boss anymore, no one left to tell us what to do. I guess we'll have to be our own boss then. About time.
The stars are so beautiful.
A quiet moment passes over you. A comfortable quiet.
We should dance.
Oh. She gently pulls you forward, and the two of you fall into graceful step. Why is this making me cry? The only rhythm that guides you is the shared thumping of your hearts, beating in perfect unison. Because everything's been so ugly. We found a moment of beauty. Her face, worn and tired, brightens the faster you move. A soft, sad smile, widening and widening until it reflects only genuine affection. You send her out in a wide spin, and your arms stretch to their limits, only the tenuous grasp of your hand in hers holding you together. You share a gaze that feels like it lasts forever.
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
I'm glad you're the one we brought here. I meant it. Share a dance with your happy ending.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
It's going to be okay. Just trust me. We've been here before and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. If he thinks it's bad, I'm with him.
I'll see you on the other side. It's going to be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. Finally! We're going places.
You approach the mirror. Oh, hi. My cat is saying hi. Hi, Wander. Can I see my screen so I can read it? You are nothing at all. But that isn't right. You can't be nothing. Refocus your gaze and then you see it. A figure, faint and veiled in shadow, just beyond the reflection. Are you me?
I think you know what I am.
A crack slides down the center of the mirror, splitting the image of the glass in two. And then another crack forms, and another, turning the mirror into jagged shards of broken glass. I've asked a lot of these questions before. I've met you many times. Have you been the same you all along?
I haven't, and that's by both necessity and design. This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world.
You know, I've been, consciously trying to avoid, spoiling things, like the princess's real name or the protagonist's real name, in some assumption somewhere that there are people watching this who haven't played the game already, and, part of me is I want to be thorough looking at all these answers for those people's sakes to, explain everything that's going on, but I don't know. Do I really want to do that? See all this again? I don't know. I'll click on stuff. Maybe I'll find new answers.
But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
So you do know about the looping. So many of the times I met you, you denied it was even being a possibility. Why did you lie to me?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really?
So if the narrator is just a regular guy, right? How did he create multiple versions of himself? He's not a god like we are. He's just a guy. I mean, assuming that this is all a world full of bird people, I guess. He's just a regular person. I don't understand the narrator. Once I have a more complete view of this game, I need to do a real lore dive. I need to go back on the frickin' Black Tabby Discord and make people explain it to me.
Except for me. I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
They've all said that, man. What are you? Are you something like me?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo. Likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim. I'm sure you've met many others like me.
In one of my lives, you doubted yourself. You thought that all of this was wrong. The one we just saw?
Oh, did I? That means nothing in the grand scheme of things. This construct you're in contains every possible world at once. The fact that you managed to find one reality among trillions where I was delusional proves nothing.
If you made me, then what am I?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
Are you a god, or were you a god?
No. In life I was painfully mortal, a witness to the end of days. I held the fear of death in my heart and saw oblivion threaten the very memory of everything I knew and everyone I loved. I needed to do something.
That's the fairy tale ending. That's the fairy tale ending he was talking about. The one he saw. Okay, makes sense. So is he trying to reverse what happened or prevent it? Has oblivion already come? I don't know.
So I made you, and I made her, and I made this place to hold you both.
How am I supposed to rid the world of death?
By slaying the princess. Once she's gone, everyone will get to exist exactly as they are. No more fear, no more howling chaos, just life. Forever.
You made us out of what?
The cycle of life and death. The endless pattern of creation and destruction. I tore it in two and shaped the fraying threads into you and her.
I'm pretty sure death is good, actually. Important, even.
If that's your belief, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you can't grasp the abject horror of dying.
Okay. What is the princess? Did you make her too?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. Seems that every me you met did a real shit job of it, though.
I'm not going to slay her, and I want you to know that before you die for good. I think I need to see a happy ending with the long quiet in the shifting mound today. I need that.
Well, there's no reasoning with a god. Even one you've woven into existence yourself. I've said my piece. My time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away.
As the final fragment of glass shatters, you see yourself with newfound clarity. The narrator was right. You are the long quiet, a vast and nascent god. And it is finally time for you to wake up. All of this is you. An honest heart. Share your happy ending with her. That's the achievement I got. When you arrive at the heart of things, there is no final vessel for you to bear witness to. There is nothing for you to find. Here she comes. her. She's so pretty.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me. It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
I have the official Black Tabby sticker of the shifting mound on the back of my phone. That's how much I love her. Do you know about the echo? Did you hear our conversation? No, I've missed you too. She unfurls an endless cascade of smiles in response, and then patiently waits for you to continue. Do you know about the echo? Did you hear our conversation?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
I'm the long quiet, but I don't really know what that means.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
What happens now?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it? When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes. So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
What do we have to say to make her do the final boss kind of thing? Don't you have a say in all this? Why is this all falling on me?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
If you were always going to become this, then what was the point of me doing anything? Did it even matter what roads I walked if all of them would have led to this moment?
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence
Yes!
and passion
I love
are
this part.
dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
A picture of a life, and a picture of a life, and a picture of a life. How deep must repetition still our movements, until even the air we breathe is stale? You doused the flames of false devotion, and in my despair you lifted my chin, and the two of us danced beneath the stars. But the stars can't be seen unless the flames go out, and the walls come crashing down. Can you not do for all things what you did for us?
I think that a life like that, a perfect life, could be worth living in. There's a version of that world worth living in. But, I don't know. I'm not emotionally prepared to delve into what it means to be truly happy in this world. I just want to say I was so glad to dance with you, because I really, really was.
And dance with me again, and you'll never have to stop. Fear is a chain around the neck and a needle in the eye. It was fear that made our prison, and it was fear that told the lie that our spirits were not free to choose. But together we left it all behind, and found a world free of burdens. We found the beauty in accepting our dance, This construct is a machine of fear. It has no place in our divine hearts. Shatter it. Leave with me.
I always think these are so interesting. They, like, address every possible perspective on each of these scenes that we saw. You denounce fear, and yet you laud violence and strife as necessary and beautiful. Can there be courage without fear, and is courage not beautiful?
Fear is a delusion. It places barriers in the minds of those who do not free themselves from it. To see that there is no horror in living. To embrace the violence and the pain. That is the only way to truly appreciate the tapestry of the divine.
A shiver passes through me as unseen fingers dance across your skin. I remember the violence you inflicted on me, and yet they don't return it. I offer you absolution, and you take my hand in yours. You felt the pain you caused another, and you were willing to sacrifice everything you thought was used to set me free. Without sin, there is no redemption.
And I would sacrifice everything to free you again. I mean, can we argue with her a little bit and still free her? But without redemption, there can be no sin.
And without contrast, there can be nothing at all. A web of nerves, line upon a web of nerves, line upon a web of nerves. The shade of a beautiful beginning we can never return to.
Yeah, as she's going through this, I'm realizing that, with the exception of the witch, every route we went down in this playthrough was... The princess and I, it ended with a nice moment. The wild, we found the outside world together. With the specter, we escaped together. With the cage, we embraced our lack of agency and watched the dance together. And as the happily ever after, or whatever you want to call her, we had our dance. I really can't bring myself to be awful to this princess. I really do love her.
Where did you end and I began? When you felt what it was to be me, we held on to each other and pierced the veil of truth. Will you abandon that curiosity now that we are no longer joined in physicality?
I miss what it was like to be together. Can we go back to it?
Though that was us before we were us, there is no turning back. For all the echo's delusion, he still managed to reshape reality itself. Though he could not destroy, he could not be destroyed. We are intertwined, but we are separate.
Behind your back and a trick behind mine. We dance, revolving and revolving around each other, but forever stuck in place. We both move, and yet we both don't. For each of us watches the other instead of ourselves. But forever is not forever. I move and you react, and both of us break the other. But breaking is only a moment in time. To change is to hold the potential to rise above. Would you limit yourself to what you are now? Or would you like to see what you might become tomorrow?
With time, we could have been better.
And there is always time.
As the clash between you abates, you begin to shake, your will rapidly dissolving.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
I never wanted to fight you, but how do we leave?
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
Free yourself. I'm sorry, I know this is the same ending I chose when I streamed this, but I had another ending where we slayed her and saved the world in my second playthrough, but I just love this ending too much. You fall into yourself. The body of an ancient creature stirs from its hibernation, and you feel sensation in limbs you once couldn't fathom. Everything here, except for her, is you. You feel your wings, spanning a cosmic scale, but twisted and crumpled and bound in agonized tension to a finite plane. You can feel the glass of the construct pressing in on you, confining you across infinite sides and infinite angles. You push back and strain against it. But it does not yield.
I love you.
Take her hand. All at once, the unyielding tension breaks. You are free, and she is with you.
It's magnificent.
There are no words, no thoughts to describe absolute reality. Something that simply is. Let's step into the infinite. You and she step forward into 1,000 dawns and 1,000 sunsets, each of which contains 1,000 more. You exist and you are aware, just as you always have been, and just as you will always be. Though conflict is in your nature, the two of you will never be alone, and the two of you will never know fear. You and she are finally home. Yay! Slay the princess. I do quite like that game. It's really good. Alright, so that was one playthrough of this game, and there's still a lot I haven't actually seen. I don't know if I want to continue, like, trying to find paths that I haven't found, in videos. I like what I've got here. And I also like having the freedom to find stuff on my own without having to narrate everything and like explain what I'm feeling. It's a simple game, but it is a heady one, and every time I finish a section, what am I saying? Every time I finish recording an episode, I feel like I am right now, like I'm just exhausted mentally. So, I don't know, it's kind of a hard series to record. But I don't know. I don't know what I'll replace it with, so maybe I will just continue to record this and find paths I haven't. Let's return to the main menu, and let's check the memories. So these are all the ones we have now. Oh, so these are the endings we can find. I don't know how to do a lot of this. How many endings are there? Destroy her without any outside help, and then find your new world. The fruits of your labor are world free from death. Wow. Okay. So the ones I haven't seen yet, they're all here. I haven't seen the Gray Fire, and I think that's this one. I haven't seen the Thorn, which I think would require us going back to the Witch. What's this one? The Den, I think it's called, so that's another offshoot of the Beast. There are other ways to die without letting nature swallow you whole. So die before she eats you. Alright, this one I've seen. This is the one we almost got but didn't. This one I have not seen, and I think it branches off of the tower, so I'll definitely be interested in going back to that. I do enjoy the tower section quite a bit. And I realize some of the reasons that people dislike the Smitten now are kind of similar to the reasons some people don't like the Broken, because they have the audacity to be a man who is in love with a woman, but in a very extreme and obsessive way. The reason I like the Broken more than the Smitten now is that I like their dynamic. I like their dynamic more. So I'll definitely want to go do this one, going off the tower, because I really enjoy that. And I think this is the Fury, which I got from going off the tower, from killing the tower. And this one comes off the Adversary, and I guess this is one where we leave the cabin with the Adversary? I don't know. And then, of course, all of these Chapter 2 ones, there are things I haven't seen, endings I haven't seen. Like, for all the times I've seen the Nightmare, I still haven't released her. I haven't killed the damsel. I guess those are the options there, but there's still a lot more for me to do, and I don't know if I'll record it or not, but I'll come to a decision, I think. Until then, though, I have been Mars, and I will be back with something, if not more, Slay the Princess.